Hello everyone, Mr. Massacre here again, playing a game of 3 vs 3 on Monsoon as Terran. A quick shout out to my allies Ranger, Teal Terran, and Simon, Red Zerg. This is a pretty basic Terran armor strategy that I went for here. Alright, so the first thing I do is build a barracks at 9/11 supply. Right after I start the barracks, I wait till I get 100 minerals again, and then I build a supply depot without building any SCVs in the meantime. Right after the supply depot is done, I build a refinery and I start to saturate it as soon as it's done, keeping all of my SCVs targeted to the nearby mineral field. And then I build another barracks and at the same time move to block the ramp into my base. Probably could have optimized that a little bit better, but I'm satisfied with the outcome. I'm gonna pan the camera here in a second to show you exactly what I mean when I say block the ramp. There you go. Things I want to talk about that happened during this match. I need to remember to build more units. I built 2 forces in this match and they ended up being somewhat undermanned. And I need to keep better track of my own supply. Try not to back yourself into that nasty corner where you get the voiceover telling you need to build more supply depots or overlords or pylons or what have you. And get the orbital command center faster. This is Terran specific, but that thing definitely helps you pump some minerals later on in the game when you need them the most. Okay, so enough boring stuff. The first exciting thing of the match just happened. Red gets owned. I hate to say it like that. Red ended up being a sponge. I send some of my infantry over to help, all of my infantry over to help, and they don't really help very much. As you can see, they all died. But Teal comes in with his cavalry and ends up doing a bit more damage than I did. I send over some more of my troops, but it's a little bit too late to save Red's base. Oh well, this kinda happens sometimes. The good thing, though, is that because their forces were combined, they didn't do any damage to me, and they didn't do any damage to Teal. So we have a chance to expand into armor at Red's expense. Sorry, Simon, it did happen, but oh well, you did bounce back a little bit, and we did drop some hurt later on in the game, as you will see. Not all of the structures were destroyed, which is a good thing, and he still has all of his overlords more or less intact, which is another good thing. So I talked about the things that I want to improve in my gameplay strategy. Time to talk about the things that I did right. My build orders and times were almost on the ball. Completely on the ball. As you can see, we're a little bit almost into 10 minutes into the game, I think. I can hardly read it. And I already have 2 factories, or 1 factory, and the second one going up. I'm getting Hellions, and the reason why I did this is the second thing that I want to mention. I started pumping Hellions with the express purpose of defeating light units because I knew from the attack on Red that all the enemy had were light units so far. All they had were Zerglings and all they had were Zealots, and since we set them back by destroying their initial attack force, that was likely all they were going to continue having when they attack again, or when we attack them and they try to fight us off. So that was the entire reason that I built Hellions, is to counter the light units that I predicted correctly would be there. Now, we fought off the first attack, which is the final thing I want to mention. We saved Red, which was good for us, because it doesn't do us any good to let a player die. And here's the second exciting thing that happens this round. Me and Teal make a combined push into the enemy's territory, and it doesn't get beaten back, which is always good. So we send our troops up the ramp and encounter some Void Rays. However, Yellow's Void Rays are too focused on taking out my tanks to realize that my Marines are chopping them up. So that's an expensive mistake. All the Void Rays gone, we continue to push into the base, encountering a couple of Zerglings, which didn't go too well for them. I think at some point in this game, I get attacked by some Zerglings that get pushed into my base, and it doesn't really go very well. It was sort of a last-ditch attempt, I think, on Orange's part. Here they come. The Zerglings make it into my base, and I didn't react fast enough to it, and they did damage my SCV economy a little bit, but nothing that I can't recover from. I send my Hellions over and 2 swipes and they're gone. That sort of pointed out that I needed to continue my economy, but as you can see up in the top corner, I do have a lot of resources. So I start building Thors. If I had a little more common sense, I probably would have put up another factory and kept building Thors well into the later part of the match, but I was really just focused on trying to get this video accomplished so that I could put it on YouTube for my fans. Not the best reason to be playing a game, but oh well. So I pushed my forces down on the lower part of the enemy base because I knew there were going to be some expos that I could take advantage of. Teal apparently did the same thing after wiping out the base up there on the ridge, the Zerg base up on the ridge, and we keep going into Purple's base, and Purple puts up some fairly stiff resistance. I'm sending my initial force in with Teal, and here's my secondary force, which goes up the ramp as I'm scanning to see what I'm going to be up against. Blar. Well, anyway, I send my troops up the ramp and flank these Hydralisks, showing up a little bit too late to the fight. Could have probably done that earlier, but I take out these two spine crawlers pretty early on before they can do any damage at all, and then the base just collapses underneath us. There's basically nothing they've got left. And at this point you can see that my resources are sort of over the top. I'm full of minerals and gas, and I should have continued pumping troops, but I didn't. I guess that's kind of an oh well on my part. Well, after we wipe out Purple, it occurs to us that, for some reason, the other players haven't quit yet. I realize these pylons are here, so I send some Thors to take care of them, and I send the rest of my troops over to the only unexplored part of the map, which is basically what Teal's doing too. We come to find out, yeah, there's Yellow making his final stand. So, moving in to sort of take out Yellow's final stand, I put a tank into siege mode and start blasting away. And at this point it's pretty much just sitting here putting him under siege until he leaves the game, realizing he can't possibly win. I sort of hate it when that happens, but you know, what can you do? He left the game, we won, so like and subscribe, and I hope my strategies are helping you.